Now know the name of the man pulled from Lady Bird Lake earlier this week. Today, Austin police confirmed his name is Moga Dogel, and he was 23 years old. They did not say how he died, but
We've got some breaking news to bring you here on the News at 6. We're learning more about a body that was found in Lady Bird Lake on Monday afternoon. Just a few minutes ago, Austin police say this case is not being ruled a homicide at this time.
All I know is he was vomiting profusely and struggling to walk, stand up.
Call text advised the fishermen had located an unknown person floating in the water. Before arrival, the Austin Fire Department and Austin Travis County EMS arrived on scene to provide medical aid. Around the time officers arrived on scene, the victim was unfortunately pronounced deceased at approximately...
All of these are purposeful. Something is going on in Austin, Texas, and nobody's talking about it.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we cover true crime mystery to the missing. This is Lady Bird Lake, located in Austin, Texas. It's part of the Colorado River, and within the past 2 years has claimed at least 13 bodies. Mostly middle-aged male victims. Many are claimed to be accidental drownings by the local PD. But many believe this could be the work of a serial killer who some have dubbed the Rainy Street Ripper, as some of the victims found in the lake were last seen near the Rainy Street area.
It's about a half-hour's walk from the Rainy Street neighborhood, and that is a trendy night spot with pubs, restaurants, food trucks, the place where the Rainy Street Ripper got his name, or her name. We're going to get to that in a second.
In 2022, 4 bodies were found. In 2023, 5 bodies. And since this year alone, at least 4 bodies so far have been found in the lake. Again, most of them are labeled as accidental drownings, except for one where it was labeled as a homicide and the person responsible was quickly arrested. One of the victims found in the lake was 30-year-old Jason John, whose body was found on February 5th, 2023.
New calls to address safety and lighting near Lady Bird Lake after police found the body of Jason John in the water last night. John's family says he went out on Rainy Street on February 5th, and that was the last time he was seen alive.
30-year-old Jason John had been celebrating with a night out on Rainy Street on February 5th. Family members say surveillance video shows him stumbling from the bars, but there are no cameras to show them what happened closer to the water.
It's been over a year since Jason John was found, but recently the 911 call in relation to his case has been released to the public. So in today's video, we're going to listen to it and break it down.
So on February 5th, a man apparently saw Jason go into the water, and he couldn't really help him. So what did he do? He rushed up the embankment to the nearby Holiday Inn to have them call 911. Let's play you a portion of that.
Hi, yes. I had a man just walk in here saying that somebody just fell in the river. He's drenched. I guess he tried to save the person, and I'm in the hotel, Holiday Inn Town Lake. Address? At 620 North. IH35.
Okay, this is the Holiday Inn Town Lake?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where will the patient be located inside the Town Lake? Inside the Holiday Inn?
So on this cold night last year, first responders started heading toward the lake. The dispatcher was able to get some more information from this man, identified as Chris, who says what he saw happen.
He says that there's somebody in the river right now. The guy that's in front of me was trying to save him. So the guy that needs to be saved, I have no clue.
Okay, can we talk to the guy that jumped in the river?
Yes, hold on a second.
Yes. Hey, please. Hello. My name is Chris Williams.
Okay, Chris, tell me exactly what happened.
I'm on the lake trail on the north side of Town Lake, walking down the trail. there was a young man up there about 100 yards away in front of me, puking and stumbling around and puking, and able to breathe. He went around in a circle. He went in the tree and said that man, just stay there, be calm, I'm coming, nothing to worry about, it's cool, I'm coming, just be still and breathe. And then he went towards the lake in the darkness. I couldn't see exactly. And the next thing I hear is I'm walking, trying to get close to him. I hear a splash in the water, and I look over and I see the splashing. I'm about 50 yards away from, maybe 40 yards away from him. I said, man, swim towards my boat. And he went, he was down in the water, and I knew.
Still in the lake?
Yes. I finally got to him with a long stick, because I didn't want to get dragged down. But I got 6 feet away from him. His head went down from maybe 10 feet the most. When his head went down, my stick was at least 5, 6 feet long. I went right over the top of where he was, and then as I got closer, I swept that stick around about 3 or 4 feet deep, thinking he was still about that level. I got right over the top of where I believed he was. I swept around in a circle with the stick, and then finally I tried to go as deep as I could, going expanding circles, and I couldn't feel him. I figured he'd only been down 30 seconds or so. He felt my stick, he would have grabbed it. Okay.
Still in the water?
Yes. I swam, I stayed in the water for about a minute trying to feel around and find him. I couldn't find him.
What was he wearing? What was he wearing?
I couldn't tell. It looked like a light colored shirt and maybe some shorts or jeans. I couldn't tell from a distance. It was dark down there. All I know is he was vomiting profusely and struggling to walk, stand up.
Did he fall into the water, or did you see him jump into the water? Could you tell?
I did not see him. I did not see him fall, but I was within 50 yards at tops. But it's wooded, so I could. To me, it looked like he was stumbling around trying to keep his balance, so he was moving pretty quickly back and forth.
Okay.
If he was heading towards the bank, where it slopes down a little bit, and he was stumbling pretty fast, he may have landed 5 or 10 feet out into the water.
Okay.
By the time I got to the bank, he was a good 30 feet out.
Okay.
So it seems that this caller had seen Jason stumbling around the lake, throwing up, and eventually Jason John ended up in the water. This bystander had seen this and tried to save John by getting a long stick and attempting to go into the water to retrieve John. But he said eventually his head ended up going under the water and he could not save him. After the 911 call, they dispatched boats and searchers, but they could not locate Jason John that night. It was only a week later, after his body was seen floating in the water, that it was recovered. Since Jason John's incident, there has been many more bodies found in the lake who have not been identified. But if this is the work of a serial killer, then there may have been someone who survived their attack. This is Jeff Jones. He was in town for a bachelor party in June of 2023, and the next thing he knows is waking up under a bridge near a creek, and he did not know how he got there. After ending up in the hospital, they had found the date drug Rufalin in his system. Here is his account of what happened.
Various purposes, but why?
I was found at about 4:30 in the morning at the bottom of a ravine. Actually was right next to a river that would lead to Lady Bird Lake.
Jeff Jones was in Austin for a bachelor party in June of 2023 when someone found him in a creek under a bridge. Did you physically end up in the water and somebody found you? I mean, do you know what happened to you?
They were taking notes and kind of trying to explain to me what was going on. But that is an odd twist to it as well. I was found right next to the creek where another individual a few years back also was found there. Unfortunately, he had passed away. But that leads right to Lady Bird Lake. And I was found at about 4:30 in the morning after disappearing from the group at around 1. So it is a strange amount of time that I had, and then it was just kind of an innocent bystander who had found me and reported it anonymously. So it would be interesting to find out a little bit more about that person. I always thought it was kind of odd that why did they see me at the bottom of the creek? And yeah, I had no idea where I was or what had happened, and I had a bunch of staples all over my body, and it was quite a harrowing experience, I'll say, at that point. It took me a few days to really even understand what was going on. And then they also had done a toxicology screen, and they did find rufalin in my system. And there was no other substances outside of that.
Now, some experts believe it's just a coincidence and drownings happen all the time throughout the states. But the rate at which the bodies have been piling up here in Austin's Lady Bird Lake has the locals very concerned that there is a connection.
Part of me just wonders that this is because they haven't been talking to other police departments. Also, the fact that the autopsy reports are not readily available, a lot of times you can get your hands on those, piques my interest, is interesting to me. And some of these have been ruled as undetermined. And I think that's interesting as well, because most of these bodies were not in the water for that long. I think we know that, unfortunately, when bodies are in water for a very long period of time, obviously that can degrade evidence and then lead to not knowing a cause of death. Some of these deaths, particularly the ones that have been labeled undetermined, and then the fact that the police went from blunt force trauma to gunshot wound to the head so quickly within a matter of hours, that lends itself, in my opinion, to the idea that there may be someone out there doing this purposely. And I want to take it one step further and say that this may be going on in other states as well. And I think that is the concern that I have. When we see an uptick of bodies being found in Austin, we see a downtick of bodies in Chicago. And then when we see an uptick of bodies in Chicago, there's a downtick of bodies in Austin. It's very strange.
What do you mean by that? Because again, somebody could say, look.
Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is the work of a serial killer? Please smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please consider supporting this channel by becoming a Patreon or a member of the channel. And thank you so much for watching.